Exciting episode of Masterminds by Governance Now. This is Kailashnath, Adhikari, Managing Director, Governance Now, Ashri Adhikari Brothers Enterprise, and it is my extreme proud privilege to welcome none other than Miss Evelyn Sharma, fashion entrepreneur. Evelyn, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Evelyn Sharma is an international model and actress from Germany. She marked her film debut with 2006 British film Turn Left. She made a Bollywood debut playing the role of Lubaina in 2012 Bollywood film From Sydney with Love. Her father is an Indian and her mother is a German. She studied business and dabbled in real estate in foreign Germany. She knows 8 languages, including English, Hindi, French, Dutch, Spanish, Thai, Russian, and Tagalog in the Philippines. In spite of her half foreign origin, she dubs in Hindi for herself. She's an internationally acclaimed Indian-German actress, businesswoman, and the host of culture and lifestyle show Euromax. After achieving popularity in many countries with her extensive list of movies, awards, and TV projects during her career, she has consolidated herself not only as a well-known actress, but also as a trailblazer philanthropist. She advocates for sustainable living and is a remarkable entrepreneur that aims to assist brands and influencers in achieving their full potential. Her inspiring entrepreneurial work can be seen in a non-profit organization, Seams for Dreams, and a boutique marketing agency, WIP Creatives. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. That was a very kind introduction.
A pleasure is all ours. Evelyn, tell us more about Seams for Dreams.
Seams for Dreams is my charity foundation that was started in 2015, born on my birthday, 12th of July, 2015. And we were very lucky and blessed to be launched by Vogue India in our first fundraising event. And how it came together was really, I always had a love for helping others, of course, but I was always thinking, what will my own charity foundation be all about one day? And I always said, hello, Coco is interrupting already. I always wondered one day when I had the dream of starting a charity foundation ever since I was 15 years old. So when I decided that what should it be about, I thought it would always be about something like women's rights or about kids. But when I entered the entertainment industry, I realized that the number one question that people ask me is, who are you wearing? And that the impact that I have with the fashion choices that I make is huge. And in Germany, where I grew up, recycling of clothes is a very common thing. We have bins standing everywhere where you can throw in your old clothes and it'll go to people in need. However, when I moved to India, I didn't find anything like that. In India, the culture was slightly different. It was more about passing on your clothes to your family members, your help in your house, maybe dropping it off at a local orphanage or church, which is also great. But then I realized that there was no place where you could bring all your clothes, your good clothes, your bad clothes, your scraps, and just simply everything. And in 2015, there was an earthquake in the north of India, bordering Nepal, and everyone was very heavily affected. And so a lot of my friends and I were wondering, how could we help? And the answer was the one thing that we have more than enough of, and one thing that we should definitely give is clothing. But then since there was no centralized place where we could give it, we just created our own little donation drive, collected all the clothes that our friends wanted to give. Good clothes, every type of clothing, from your ball gown and your wedding dress all the way to your pajamas, basically. And we segregated the clothes into 3 piles. One is your high-end fashion that we then use for fundraising to be able to support the outreach to the affected areas. The second part is the clothes, which we call it the appropriate everyday clothing, like your saris, kurtas, your jeans, and your t-shirts that could go straight to people that required new clothing. And we were surprised how many pieces of clothing we're not actually able to use anymore. Stained clothes, slightly damaged clothes. We had a lot of designers that just wanted to give fabrics. And so the third pile was a pile that would usually go into the bin. And we said, why don't we upcycle these items? Why don't we create something new out of these items. So we did our first upcycled fashion line in collaboration with a fashion school, and those clothes were then also sold at our fundraising events to accumulate more funds to be able to do more outreach. And surprisingly, after 5 years, that's still how we run the company and the charity organization, and it still works.
Absolutely fantastic. So how
I currently feel like one of these moms in these Zoom videos that suddenly get interrupted by their kids. Only it's my dog.
So how did the idea, of venturing into fashion come up for you?
That was because the one question everyone asked me is, who are you wearing? And so I thought, if I wear if I make conscious choices with the clothes that I wear, I wear 90% secondhand clothing. And I think what most people don't know is that pretty much every celebrity on the red carpet wears clothes that they later on give back. And there's this wrong image almost of celebrities, that celebrities have endless amount of money and they just keep shopping, all these high-end clothes. And to be like a celebrity, I must buy the same amount of clothes. I must wear a new dress in every picture, which is not the truth. Celebrities don't really buy any of this. Designers gift it to celebrities, or they rent it, or they borrow it from designers. And so it's almost a very misleading way of telling the other side, the audience, that you must shop. But actually, we all thrive on secondhand clothing in a way or the other. And I think I wanted to show that in the way that I openly tell everyone I shop at vintage clothes stores, I shop on vintage markets. And to be honest, that's where I find my best picks, just like this one. I found it actually in a friend's closet. I got it from a friend. So I think that's that culture of us sharing our clothes is super important. And it's kind of, with the fast fashion and the fast consuming generation, it's gone lost. Back in the day, we used to trade clothes with our best friends a lot more than we do now. We used to wear our mom's passed down clothes. We used to, cut them into a more cooler, current kind of trendy way. But yeah, I think now it's just clothes piling up in your closet. And I think during the pandemic in 2020, we've realized how much stuff is there in our closets, and we don't even want to go in and get there. You don't want to go all Marie Kondo on it and get everything out into your living room and then deal with it. You sort of just, you want to ignore it. You keep it in your closet forever, and you don't address that there is clothes that are rotting in your closet, that are spoiling to the point of no return. That can't be recycled because they're mixed blends of fabrics, and that they will just end up in landfills unless you actually give them to someone else. And so what Seams for Dreams is all about is the reuse, the recycling, and upcycling of clothing. So we want to encourage you to re-wear your clothes as many times as you can. And if you don't want to wear a certain item anymore, give it to someone else. You can obviously donate it through Seams for Dreams, but we would really like to see just people, recirculating fashion and giving fashion a second life.
Absolutely. Evelyn, now organic food habits have really caught everyone's attention, be it any kind of organic food. People are crazy about that. How can we motivate more and more people to adopt sustainable fashion the way you have advocated it through Seams for Dreams?
Yeah, I have to say, sometimes I see myself, reflecting my mom, because my mom was a forerunner in the organic food movement in Germany in the 80s and 90s. And now it's like back then, everyone was frowning on it and saying, but why should we go for the more expensive food when we could just have the burgers at $1? And why should we, they also fill us, so why should we go for the organic milk if I can buy the milk that is non-organic and it costs so much less and it feeds my family? The problem similar to fashion, similar to the entertainment industry, now with fast content, anything that becomes faster and faster and faster, you start consuming more of. So the problem is one, of course, in the food, the nutrition factor. But then the second part is your indulgence, because now instead of, having to pay, say, $10 or 500 rupees for a burger, you're getting the burger at 99 rupees or like a dollar or two. So you can have almost 5 times the burgers, right? Similar to if you think of fast content, you used to save up to go to the cinema, and it used to be a really exciting occasion, and you would sometimes even have to split, the ticket with your sibling because you only had one ticket, and you had to see how to do that with the cinema. Then suddenly you have the OTT platforms, they're my money makers too, but in the end, suddenly you binge watching instead of having 2 hours, 3 hours at the cinema. And then the rest of the time you're living your life, you're mentally free. Now you sit in front of the TV every day, 3 hours, and now you're mentally not in the same state that you used to be when you used to spend time socially with friends instead of just sitting and watching the TV. The same way with fashion. We think that, but now I can buy 10 t-shirts instead of one, because if I buy the organic cotton one or the hemp one or the alternative fabric of recycled plastic bottles, that's I have to buy that from a niche kind of designer. It may be $100, it may be 5,000 rupees. I can buy 10 t-shirts for that in a fast fashion store. So why should I go for this when I can have 5 different ones? Now, the problem again is not, there's obviously a problem of how it's been produced, how much the carbon emissions are for producing it, flying it around the world, being dyed in one place, being packaged in another place, being sold in another place, the amount of money that has been paid in wages versus, in a small designer shop versus in a fast fashion industry where you need quantity, so the quality also goes out of the window. You're not paying fair prices. So there's a lot of, I'd say bad karma attached to fast fashion already. So it's up to you if you want to go for it. But the real other problems that most people don't speak about is, if you produce in such quantities and then you ship it around, you have to put a lot of chemicals onto these clothes. So you don't get moth, you don't get any animals, insects that come in and eat these clothes. So again, what happens with the off-running, chemicals? Let's not even get into that. What happens to you is the question. What happens to you when you go to the shop and you wear that t-shirt that has just been bathed and soaked in chemicals? And you wonder, 5 years later, why you have this nasty skin rash and it's not going away. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's just being informed as a consumer what you are putting onto your body. So you may have bought the cool conscious line at the fast fashion store that says, made from 100% organic cotton. I don't even know how that would be possible, but even if it is, it's still bathed and soaked in these chemicals, so they can give it to you. And then you have to wash it again so many times to actually get that out of your clothes. That I always say, especially when it comes to baby clothing, because babies don't have the choice, they will have to wear whatever you put on them. It's cleaner clothes if they are secondhand, because they have been drained of chemicals. They have been washed hundreds of times in your own washing machine. And now they're passed on from your cousins and who not, and give that to your baby to wear. Don't buy new clothes, because when you put new clothes on them, they are not clean. They're actually not clean. And they cause a lot more harm to your baby. And I'm talking about fast fashion. Of course, again, if you buy new clothes, be an informed consumer, be conscious and actually know what is the clothes that you're buying, similar to what is the food you're buying, right? And are you buying the tomatoes from the farmer, or are you buying the tomatoes that have been spray painted red and you're not even aware of it? They just look really juicy on the market, but you are not aware of what has happened to these, these vegetables that you're buying, and why these vegetables are not helping you to feel healthy, and why they're not nutritious. So I'm just not a person that encourages any kind of fast lifestyle. I feel like almost that even though obviously the pandemic is not a good news, but the fact that we had to slow down our lives and had to actually, I think we've become a lot more conscious as consumers, because we were sitting at home and we were educating ourselves. And we are doing things like this. We're, having webinars, masterclasses. They're free to attend. They're at a small cost to attend. It doesn't matter. It's such a great way to pass your time, to get informed and to know that you have the choice as the consumer in every sector of your life, whether that's food, content, or fashion. You make the choice, and that's what you will get more of.
Absolutely. Evelyn, how do you manage, because you're a fashion entrepreneur, you have your other ventures as well as acting. How do you dabble between all of them?
I ask myself the question sometimes. I guess I don't have any kids yet, and that's probably how I am able to have all these other babies. My ventures, my career, my and still take care of my family. But I think, once I have, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy my time. I'll probably only step back once, I have some babies coming.
You started a company called WIP Creative. Tell us more about it.
WIP Creatives. Originally it was my management company in Mumbai. I had started it as a management company for aspiring talent. But then, unfortunately, that was still in the making before I could actually really open it. So when I moved to Australia last year, and I moved to a small town in the Western Downs region of Queensland, what I realized is that there are no other, I'm sort of the only professional when it comes to understanding entertainment, content creation, and marketing. So I thought, what can I contribute? What can I bring to the region that will benefit the local businesses and people and the community? And so I decided, I'll shut down the management company for now, and I'll open a marketing company here in Australia. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, Evelyn, we all know that how e-commerce has helped boost in terms of retail sale products all around the world and in India as well. How has the evolution of e-commerce helped in creating awareness of brands such as Seams for Dreams? How useful is it?
Well, we're still, I feel, when it comes to reselling of clothes, we're still, I feel, in the initial phase, similar to, the organic food movement back in the 90s. I think people are still, I think 2020 has changed a lot. But say before 2020, it was very exciting to buy new clothes online, new things online. The amount of clothes that don't fit when you buy them online is crazy. Like the amount of clothes we received as donations with still the tag on at Seams for Dreams was really shocking. A lot of, I think like this whole drop shipping and online selling was interesting. It is now helping a lot of secondhand clothing businesses sell, especially I've seen on social media. It works quite well. But because online really just works if you have like 1,000 pieces of one item. And then you can just get all the clicks and people can just buy. That doesn't work for secondhand clothing as such, because secondhand is always one piece. And I feel there's still a lot to be done. I'm glad that like I'm in this industry, of circular fashion, and I'm one of the first to see what's happening, especially when it comes to tech and to development. And I'm quite excited to see which ones of these ventures are actually going to take off and become the new Amazon of reselling. Because I see a lot, like especially here in Australia, it's more present. I think in India we still have to really get into the market, even though, again, of course, India being one of the world's biggest markets. I think if everyone commits to reusing a bit more, buying a bit more secondhand, that doesn't even have to be just clothes. That could be furniture. That could be anything.
Electronics.
Yeah, that could be your bicycle. If people commit more to buying secondhand, then India can very well become the world leader, because we again have the people, we have the number. We can become the country that is on the forefront of circular economy, and I would love to see that.
Absolutely. Evelyn, we have our audience who wants to ask you questions, and they'll come live. Sagar, can we have the question live, please? So we have Karan here today joining us, waiting to ask you a question.
Hi, Karan.
Karan, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Sorry, sir. Sorry. I was unable to. Hello, Kailash sir. Hello, Evelyn ma'am. First of all, let me tell you, I'm a paranormal investigator, and I love Germany because of one paranormal case that is known as Hinton murder case. My question is, you have said that we need to use the sustainable fashion nowadays. So how will you promote the sustainable fashion? Because India is a vast country and you need to promote that, for the fashion. So how will you promote the sustainable fashion so that everyone get to know about that, so that they can start, using the second hand word?
That's a very good question. I think, I, as one individual, I can maybe on social media reach a couple of million people. And I do that. I try to use my voice that I have online. And for example, in, public relations, like this interview, I try to use my voice as much as I can to advocate for sustainable fashion, for circular economy. But I think how we will actually make a change is, Karan, by you doing the same, by everyone doing the same, right? There is no revolution that can be started if only one person, is leading the front. But I think the revolution will only be started by everyone getting on board with it. And so, Karan, if you in your small circle of influence can influence maybe your family and friends to understand what it means to be an informed consumer and what impact their choices have if they, instead of buying a new outfit, they rewear the exact same one they wore to someone else's wedding 2 years ago, wear it again this wedding. Or just simply, organizing your friends together and say, hey, what do you have in your closets that you don't wear anymore? Let's get it into a box. Let's send it off to Seams for Dreams. They will make sure that these clothes at least get a second life with someone who needs clothes. Or you can, maybe organize a little clothes swap in your own friend circle, in your workplace, in your, wherever you are, basically. Organize a swap event and say, hey guys, everyone bring 5 items that are around the value of 2,000 rupees, and you bring 5 and you go with 5, and then you've made sure that everyone's got equal value. And it's really easy. We've got a lot of information also on our Seams for Dreams blog. So when you check out our website, seamsfordreams.com, head over to the blog and have a look around.
Sure. Thank you so much, Karan, for asking your question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Evelyn, fashion industry has taken a big hit owing to the pandemic. Now people were indoors, and a lot of fashion purchases or even daily wear purchases. Let's talk about it as a whole. Not only your high-end purchases, but also your daily wear purchases were taken a good amount of hit. How do you see it reviving now? Like in India now, it's unlocked. It's you can say business as usual as before. I don't know about the situation in Australia. How open is it? Rest of the countries, we know that they are somewhere in some sort of partial lockdowns. How do you see it reviving now?
Yeah, I think, the global fashion industry probably has experienced the greatest hit, with entire businesses shutting down, downsizing. But I feel that local businesses now have the chance to thrive. One, because their delivery, distance is so much shorter. And if, they're the first choice to deliver, of course, they could get on top. But I also think because of 2020 being a year of, almost awakened awareness in a lot of people, a lot of people want to make more conscious choices. And I think, I don't actually think that fashion is something that can really be 100% sustainable. So instead of trying to advertise with being a sustainable fashion brand, I think the ones that are honest and the ones that are transparent and advertise as being a more responsible option in fashion, those will actually be successful. And I think there's a lot of scope right now for upcycled fashion, which means, as Karan asked, what can we do? Go collect all your auntie's saris and create some cool fashion items out of it. You can price that pretty high because now that is a unique item. There won't be a second one ever like it. So you have created something that is of such value that you can sell it at a really decent price. And I think if you start creating a line like this and, you want to launch as a designer and you can create a line of, say, 20, maybe 100 items of clothing that are upcycled from old saris, very good saris still, you may come out as a very successful brand by the end of this pandemic.
True. Thank you so much, Evelyn, for joining us on this exciting episode of
having me.
Masterminds by Governance Now. It was a complete pleasure hosting you, discussing a wide variety of issues, right from fashion to marketing to acting. And thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for also joining us on this show. Thank you so much, Evelyn.